Hey you guys, it's Britt. Tonight we're here with an update on the Not So Resilient Jenkins. The tea is scalding hot. I said in a video recently that there was this rumor going around that Drew was talking to someone on the side. And initially I thought, you know what, it's probably being orchestrated by Steph and Drew so that they can get views and interest peaked again on their platform for financial gain. But now that more has come out, if Steph and Drew went this far to calculate this kind of content, I mean, I know they have no shame and no embarrassment, but this has taken it to a whole new level. So we're going to talk about the TikTok account Drew's Side Piece, what they've said leading up to this point and everything that's going on. It's crazy, but if you're interested, please keep watching. Okay, so let's start at the top. 3 days ago, there were messages released on this TikTok account, Drew's Side Piece, and let's just go through the messages. One says, "Wait a damn minute." Next, Drew responds, "What?" The side piece says, "Send me a picture of your hand holding 2 fingers up." Allegedly Drew responded, "Why LOL?" This person responded, "Because you could be her this whole time for all I know." Obviously referring to Steph. Drew says, "If you want to, sure." This person responds, "Yes, I want," with the Volkswagen Jetta steering wheel in the background. Then, also 3 days ago, it says, "POV, he can only text while out working." And there are messages. Drew says, "We are together." This person says, "Okay, when are you going live again? I need to watch you play. I can't pay attention how I want when I'm at work." Drew responded, "I'm doing deliveries LOL. Do you really think I could text like this at home?" This person responded, "Well, when is your day off, sir?" He said, "I don't take one, LOL." And that was the end of that post. Now we get to 2 days ago. This is still a DM, not a text. Drew says, it is what it is. If I make enough, I might." This person says, "What about Twitch? Does she see the comments?" Drew says, "No, not really, but it's Twitch. Anyone can join and chat, and that's game talk on there." This person responded and said, "I know that I wouldn't say anything weird in chat, but if she sees the same person every day, it might be weird." Drew responds and says, "Nah, she knows I have 4 followers already, and it's gonna happen. It's a game. I have a lot of gamer friends." This person then responds and says, "Good point. Does she go through your phone or just try to peek what you're doing?" Drew responds and says, "Both." This person says, "That's crazy." Then Drew says, "Yeah, I see. I gotta be careful messaging though. 15 minutes sooner and she had my phone." This person says, "You got an iPhone or an Android? You can't you lock certain apps?" And he says, "She has the password." They said, "I didn't even think you would respond, to be honest." Drew says, "I wasn't going to, LOL." This person says, "What made you? You made me wait all day today." And he says, "I did, question mark." He continues and says, "Because I was at the house. It'd be hard. She know I don't text like that. I don't know how I would even hide your number." This person responds and says, "Damn, maybe you get some diarrhea and have to take extra bathroom trips. That's when you save the number under Pizza Hut or spam likely." He says, "We don't buy Pizza Hut," which totally tracks based on what Steph has said herself. Drew says, "You can't blow me up though, she'll see it." They say, "I won't. You got a message first." He responds and says, "Nervous." And the person says, "We can wait. It's fine." Then continuing on. So these were happening on June 30th. This was posted 2 days ago. He sent a question mark and said, "What happened to your account? Hey." And they responded, "Hey, you're up early. What do you mean what happened to my account?" And Drew responds and says, "I missed you." The person responds and says, "And what made you decide to go back to work?" I don't know I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, especially if you hate it. Drew says, I was just annoyed by everything. To get out of this motel only a few days a week, I still want my freedom. And the person inquires and says, what type of work is it? He responds and says, grocery retail. I have 12 years of experience in. He then says, I get off at 4 a.m., so no problem. I worked nights for 10 years. I'm getting my journeyman wage, smoking right now. So obviously still partaking in your recreational activities, even though you're literally without a home. Your children are living a nightmare currently, but it's so nice to hear that Drew still has time for his leisurely activities. I want to make it really clear in this video because people will get mad if I don't make myself abundantly clear. I have no issues with people partaking in recreational smoking. I have no issue with that. But if you are unhoused, your children are not having their needs met, you're literally living in a shelter, then comes into conversation, why are your priorities all the way up? Okay, so this is where I started to change my perspective. These were posted 1 day ago. This person says, I think you should make an OF doing solo content. He responds and says, what you mean? They said, you know what OF is, right? And he says, of course, yes, of course, LOL. You want to see that from me? And why? You must like me that much. This person says, I do like you. Maybe I'm dumb, but I assume a lot of people like you and would like to see the same things that I want to see. You get a lot of hate, but I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people that like you too. He responded and said, dang, you trying to peak already, LOL. I feel you gonna send me nasty stuff when we start texting. Tall guys got big privates. He responds and says, I mean, I feel I'm normal, but I don't know. Okay, well, I'll be the judge of that. And yes, I'd definitely send nasty stuff. What you get distracted with when you should be going to bed, LOL. Well, it seems like you're already trying to get me unclothed already. Are you baiting me, LOL? And they said, well, if you mean we're here, then hell yeah. And this is where Drew starts to really continue to eat up the attention that he's receiving. He said, you would never guess one of my favorite positions. They're like, oh, you want to hit it from behind? He said, I like to, but that's not my favorite. He sends this little image and says, do you understand my image? Of course, I understand. Use your tongue. Yes, down under. Because it don't happen like that. And they said you're pretty good at it. They're really stepping into it. Maybe one day I can choke on it. You know what? I don't know what's wrong with me. He said, what do you mean? They said my mind is in the gutter. He said it's no problem. I'm not rude. I wouldn't want you to choke. And they said, I appreciate that, but what if I want to choke on it? Just be a gentleman and hold my hair up for me. He said, no choking. I'll hold your hair, but no choking. Like, this is really stepping into like some really embarrassing stuff. And this is kind of the icing on the cake. Now they move from DMs to actually texting. And he said, hi, ? They said, hey. And he responded, is this ? They said, of course, why would I give out a fake number? He said, making sure. Are you ready? And this person said, are you ready for a face reveal? He said, I don't know. And she said, okay, that's crazy. He said, JK. They said, okay, I'll give you a few, but now I'm nervous. He said, no, do it. LOL, gotta hurry. I'm headed home. As I'm so glad you're a white girl. She said, why? LOL. He said, I like white girls. LOL. She said, well, you have 2 black baby mamas, so I think you like everybody. He said, that was young and dumb. Fuck that. They attitudes be too much, making me have an attitude. I'm good. I love white kitty. Anyway, I have to be very, very careful with the words that I'm saying here. And this is the most recent post from them. And Drew is talking about this person moving. Literally, like, can we say that we move way too quick? When you have a whole family, child support, you don't have a real job, like, this entire conversation is giving me very much like, freshmen in high school. Oh, I'm in love with you. Let's pick out names for our babies and stuff like that. It's very adolescent and immature. But Drew says, I want to see your pretty feet. Come to Oregon. And she said, I'll send you pics after I get a pedicure. He said, I don't need all that. She said, I promise you do. I hate my feet. He said, just let me see. She sends the photos. He said, it's up to you if you hate your feet, but you have nice feet. And then we get into more very explicit back and forth. I'm just going to put these on screen. Y'all can pause to read them, but they're extremely explicit. And this is obviously like, this would not be a conversation that I would even look twice at if it was not between Drew with all of his stuff going on and this other person. Wow. This would be a non-issue if it was not with Drew. And initially when I had the perspective that, oh, it might be Steph and Drew kind of putting this out there, let's create a couple of fake messages just to get people talking about us, because they know that if people are talking about them, then they're going to continue to make money on TikTok. But this crosses into something that's way outside of let's make a couple of fake messages. I'm on board with believing that these are real. And to close out the video, what I want to say is, do I feel sorrow or pity for Steph? I don't, because she has made the very obvious choice to continue to defend this bum to the end of the earth. In the coming days, if she does not respond to this, then that will tell me that she just thinks that, everything is okay. I don't need to respond to this. No need to call out my mans. It's just all way too embarrassing. And it's not only embarrassing for Drew and Steph, but I feel so badly for the children. And I always have, from the beginning of when I discovered them. I thought, how sad that these kids have these two idiots to guide them through life. But anyway, that's the Jenkins tea for today. I'll be checking the comments, but for now, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.